in afterwards.
Pedicore.
I don't know. We are 5 o'clock.
But I wanted to.
You are on.
We are live. Mr. President?
Handle those, I'll pick them up too.
Yeah, and where's Mr. Greenspan? I feel like I just saw him too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I apologize.
There he is.
I got here early and it just made me late, so.
Okay, and I'm just saying Mr. Greenspan is the speaker, and the speaker is not here.
Gotcha.
He was here. I don't know where he's at now.
I went to a funeral service for
Was he? I thought he might have been with Rooster.
Yeah, she died.
Where's Mr. Greenspan?
Everybody's going to die in the middle of spring planting season. So they postponed the celebration of life.
Oh, okay, there. We were just wondering where Mr. Greenspan was.
We don't have anything. We don't have anything on the agenda.
No, but I just wanted to let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Everybody get in their position? Just one. Good evening and welcome to Lorain County Board of Commissioners. It's Tuesday, August 8th, 2023, 5 o'clock. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Madam Clerk,
Commissioner Moore.
I am here.
Commissioner Riddell.
Here.
Commissioner Hahn.
Here.
We have a quorum. Tonight we have a presentation from Dave Greenspan, Special Projects Coordinator Manager on the Strategic Plan.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Greenspan.
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioners. So at our last regular meeting, we discussed and you voted to authorize the county administrator to negotiate and discuss an RFP with certain vendors regarding the strategic plan. So I want to give you an update on that, and you have an item on the agenda related to that specific item. So once again, on July 28th, a presentation was made to discuss the RFP and the process to proceed. So today, what I want to do and why are we here is provide an overview as to the responses to the RFP and ask for approval of a contract that is on your agenda for strategic planning services. Review the process again. On May 19th of 2023, an RFP was released. On the 30th, we received 5 proposals. On July 7th, the RFPs were evaluated and 3 were advanced for in-person interviews. 2 of those interviews took place on the 24th and 1 on the 27th. Do I control this moving forward,
Yeah.
the slide?
Krista.
And is that with,
Is there a mouse right there?
there's a mouse, how do I-
Yes. Here you go.
Did it move? Okay. I went too far. There we, too far again.
Hey.
Okay, here we go. So we received, as I said, 5 respondents. These are in alphabetical order. You see that we received some national responses from all over the country, a company in Maine, right here in Elyria, Minnesota, Florida, and New York. Just to review, the review committee consisted of 3 people, Karen Perkins, Tracy Green from LCCC, and myself, and then also in attendance were County Administrator Armbruster and Commissioner Rydell. These interviews took place, as I said previously, on the 24th and 27th. We're looking at a 2-tiered operational approach. One will be the lead organization, which is who we're presenting to you today, which is Future IQ. They're an international organization with over 2 decades of strategic planning experience, and I'll go through a little more detail about them so you're comfortable with your decision and your vote this evening. And the other, so we have a lead organization, we're working with another to provide some local knowledge, and that partnership, that relationship is still pending, and we hope soon, hopefully by Friday, but if not then, at the next regular meeting, to have that agreement before you to consider as part of this proposal. So your question may be asking yourselves is, who is Future IQ? So each of you has been presented with the RFP response. Here are some highlights. They're a small privately owned global research and consulting company headquartered in Minneapolis. They were founded in 2003. They have a global footprint, which brings a broad perspective and delivers transformative, customized solutions to their clients. They have 9 staff members and 4 strategic partners. Their clients span North America, Australia, as well as Europe. In Ohio, they have done some work. They've done work with the city of Trotwood, and as well as work in Allen County in the,
You have to move your slide, Dave.
did I not do that? I'm sorry. There we go. Okay. So what's on that slide is what I just stated, so I apologize for that.
No, that's okay.
So some of Future IQ's experience and expertise, they've done regional planning, urban and city planning, organizational and corporate planning, tourism destination development, economic and workforce development, defense sector engagement, and industry planning and analysis. I did check, they did provide 6 references, and I called all 6 references, and I asked one question, which is really the only question you need to ask an applicant is, would you retain them for future engagements, which is the question I posed. I received 3 phone calls back, and you'll see the responses here. One, I absolutely subsequently engaged them in a recreation master plan. They're highly recommended. The second that respondent said they would recommend them 100% and the high-quality organization. And the third just answered my question quite simply, would you retain them again? And the answer they responded with was yes. I didn't probe to get any additional comments. The previous 2 voluntarily gave me their responses. So when the third said yes, they answered my question, and that was basically the end of the phone call. Once again, I didn't move the slide, did I? There we go. The next slide I want to share with you is kind of their proposed project plan. They propose a 4-phase approach, starting as soon as we're able to come, hopefully this evening, with the positive vote from the commissioners. And the expectation is we will be completed around April 1st. And through the phase, and I won't read to you the right side of the presentation, but obviously design the project and background research. Phase 2 would be internal and external engagement. Phase 3 would be internal analysis and synthesis of accumulated input, and then obviously approve the plan and bring it before you to show you the effort and where we're moving. I just want to draw your attention to the internal and external engagement. The anticipation is this engagement will be wide-ranging, not only to folks under the control of the Board of County Commissioners, but organizations throughout the community and the public as well, to get a broad perspective as to what is anticipated and expected of county government, how county government can be more responsive to the citizenry. That concludes my presentation. This will lead into, I believe, the next item on your agenda is the actual vote of the matter, the resolution. Is that correct? No, it's later on. So I retract that last
No,
statement.
I just wanted to say,
Yes.
Mr. Greenspan, Director Greenspan, you did a great job on this, and it's nice to see because, you hear, oh, local, are we going to find somebody local? But these folks have experience in cities up to the state level. So
Right.
they're bringing that experience to us, and I think you've done a good job identifying them.
Well, I'd like to thank members of the selection committee as well.
And the
which
committee
is-
as well, yeah.
So, and
It's
and
nice
thank
to
you,
see,
thank you
it's
for
nice
that.
to see the varying, not only just cities, but at the state level.
Great. Well, thank you.
Which you're familiar with.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for that. And I'll relay that to Tracy as well. Karen's here, so she heard the compliment.
It is my understanding that the Community Foundation here in Lorain County actually submitted a proposal and that you guys have actually kind of included them in the new proposal. Is that correct?
It's our expectation.
Okay.
Yes. That is
I guess
important.
the word is all the synergies that are coming out of this. I guess that's the word. It sounds like it's going to be.
And that's where I talk about the local partner
Yeah.
collaboration there, because it is important, especially bringing in a third party from outside the area to understand the perspective they bring in as far as how they work collaboratively in other parts of the country, including Ohio, as they reference, but also to bring that local input to provide the necessary information to collaborate and put this plan together.
Okay. I'm sure you're going to stick around. We'll ask questions
I
when
will
we're
be
ready to
here.
discuss the vote.
All right,
So-
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Under resolutions, number 1, investments.
These are tonight's investments. I move to approve.
Second,
Discussion. Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung,
yes.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 2, appropriations.
These are tonight's appropriations. I move to approve.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Number 3, transfers.
These are tonight's transfers. I move to approve.
Second? Okay.
Yep, go ahead.
I was waiting on you, Commissioner.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Number 4, advances, repayments.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 5, requisitions.
This is page 1 of 3 for the requisitions. Any questions? Page 2 of 3 are the requisitions. Any questions? If not, page 3 of tonight's requisitions. Any questions? If not, I move to approve pages 1 through 3.
Second?
Discussion.
Yes, Mr. President. I will be a no on 1396, but I've been assured by the county administrator he will be in soon, and I look forward to meeting him.
Anything further? Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung with a no to 1396.
Yes.
Number 6, travel.
Tonight's travel, I move to approve.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 7, bills.
There's 2 pages. This is page 1 of the bills. Any discussion? Not page 2. I move to approve pages 1 and 2 of the bills.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 8, commissioners may recess an executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official.
Move to approve the personnel summary sheet.
Second?
Discussion.
Yeah.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
C, public comment on agenda items. I don't think we had any.
Nope.
did we? Any old business? No. E, board business. Number 9, approve and waive the reading of the county commissioners meeting minutes of July 14th, 18th, and 25th, and August 1st of 2023.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 10, enter an MOU between the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction and Lorain County Board of Commissioners to provide incarcerated persons at Grafton Reintegration Center employment to be employed in the Facilities Maintenance Department for 2 years.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 11, approve and enter an agreement with Future IQ Inc., Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the amount of $95,000 to facilitate and develop a strategic plan for Lorain County. This will be paid from the professional services account.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion.
Okay, now's the time. Do we have anything we want to add, commissioners?
I just draw our attention to the timeline in the presentation that Mr. Greenspan made. For the public engagement will be shortly, and we expect to deliver in time, in the spring, in time for the 200th anniversary. And we'll be able to go right from where we've been to where we want to go.
Thank you for your work on it, team. You guys did a good job.
Anything further? Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Community Development, 12, reallocate $37,177 of unspent funds in fiscal year 21 CDBG that were allocated for Rosa Street Sewer Project, Kipton, to the Liberty and 41st Street Resurfacing and Draining Project. This would amend Resolution 23-154 and Resolution 23-336 to increase the CDBG FY21 grant from $146,200 to $183,377, which the authorized payment will be from CDBG FY21 account, And then CDBG FY21 will be extended from October 31st of 2023 through January 31st of 2024.
That was easy and good job. So moved.
Second.
Do you have anything to add to this, or is more accounting?
Unless you guys have any specific questions about it.
We're good.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Dow?
Aye.
Under Stormwater Management, 13, authorize an application to H2 Ohio statewide wetland grant program through ODNR in the amount of $1 million as part of a possible $4.1 million project at the Gerber property.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Don, we've been talking about this one for years. Do you want to say anything?
No, this is just part of the plan.
Okay.
Bring some money to the county.
Well, good job on that.
You can tell the temperature's warm outside. We're hurrying this up tonight.
Well, you've been working on this one for a long time.
That's when he had hair. Look who's talking, right? Okay.
A lot of glass in there.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Anything further? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Dow?
Aye.
Under Children's Services, 14, approve a settlement agreement and release of all claims for case 2023 CV 00106.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Dow?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Public comment.
That's David Ice? Yep.
Good afternoon, how y'all doing?
Good.
Good.
Good. I'm Dave Ice, I represent the VFW 10, Post 1079 in Elyria. We have a Bricks for Vets program that I started. It's open to any veteran, not just VFW members. The bricks will be laid on the property in Elyria at the VFW in front of the flag display. And we also have more room on the other side of the property where if we have to expand it, and we'll make a walkway over there. There's no end date to this program, so this is continuing. The prices are $50 for members of the VFW, $75 for non-members. So it's open to all veterans. I also did donations, and I've been busy with the Valor House in Lorain. I'm getting those veteran bricks for free, so they're not forgotten. So we want to honor them too. I was just there today. I worked out a deal with the mayor that anybody that bought a Heroes banner can buy a brick to put on the VFW property at the $50 price, even if they're not members. The bricks will have the military logo on the brick, and if you look at the second page, that's how the brick looks. The first page is in, the logo's in color, it's not in color, but the second page shows it. That's actually one of our members' bricks. It'll have 4 lines of information on it, 15 characters on each line, spaces, dots, dashes, they all count as characters. We will hold a ceremony for this in September on the 24th at 3 p.m. We have some keynote speakers, the mayor's coming, supposedly the chief of police and the fire department. Senator Brown is sending a rep, and I'm still in the process of trying to talk to J.D. Vance, Senator. Hopefully he'll come or send a rep. I have some other hopefully the Patriots band, I'm working on them to play a couple tunes, and the couple members from Amherst High School are supposed to come and sing the national anthem for us. That's the program, and I appreciate you hearing me on this.
Okay, well, we put it up there on the screen while you were talking.
Yes.
So for your contact information, is there an email or is there a cell phone?
Well, I
Is
have my
this-
cell phone there, but I guess
Okay.
I should have put my email.
It's up to you if you want to put it out there.
It's
You
already
can't-
out there.
Okay.
It's out there in the Chronicle. I mean, it's,
Okay, good. Okay.
A reason for somebody to call me now.
Well, that's okay. I was figuring for the 36 people watching tonight, they might.
Well, you know, somebody said I should have got a burner, but
Any questions?
Mr. President, okay, so I see Dave, just to be clear, so if I were a person, I mean, my grandfather was in the services, armed services, and he's from PA, can anybody do this in memory or in commemoration? Or
anybody.
is
I
it-
just
it's
sold 2 bricks for
anybody?
Louisiana.
Okay, that was, so people it's not just Lorain County. So
No. I open it up to any veteran. We want to honor all veterans. I even got 3 Lorain County Medal of Honor veterans bricks. One date backs to the Civil War.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I'm putting those on the property. I wanted
Okay.
to honor Lorain County Medal of Honor winners. So I even got a couple brown stars. I even got a 12 by 12 to identify all the veterans. A nice saying about that. So
And are you going over to talk to the folks at the Civil War Museum up in Sheffield Lake?
oh, the one on Lake.
BI.
The OVI place, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet. I've been wanting to go.
Yeah, it was, I went after the thing we met at last week. with
Yes.
The veterans, I went over there, and, you should probably go over and speak to those folks over
Oh,
there.
I can do
They
that.
may wanna invest in your program.
Well, I appreciate the information on that.
Yeah,
Nice
if you-
folks
yeah.
over there.
If you could send us an email, we can put it up on our Facebook page too. People how to contact you.
Yeah, if I can get a email address. Oops.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just try to get it out for you.
No, I appreciate that.
Just as a reminder, Bob Latta, Congressman Latta's office is upstairs on the 5th floor. I'm sure that he would offer some help too.
I appreciate that.
Okay?
Good
Okay,
idea.
well, thank you
Give
for
us
coming out.
information if somebody has it.
Okay, well,
Thank you, Dave.
we appreciate you coming
Thank
out.
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time.
Although nobody else filled one out, I see our sheriff wants to speak, so come on up. Good evening.
Hi, Commissioners.
Good evening.
I guess I'm just wondering where my budget's at. I sent it over to the budget director this morning. I gave him more than 45 minutes to get it, and did you give it to the commissioners, Casey?
I have not, no, I do not see it, Chair. so-
Okay. Okay, there was no problem getting that last one within 45 minutes. I gave you plenty of time on this one. And I got one here, if Teresa wants to put it on the screen, an updated one.
You want to you want to wait until November, or you want to do it now?
No, this is 23 budget I'm talking. I want to do it now.
Well, you can submit it.
Deputy Montez.
It didn't get passed along. But I'm short right now, I can tell you, $1,259,798.01. Plus, we just got a retention grant from the state for $270,000 more, which is going to be funds that can go to the officers to keep them at our department. Now, I'm just bringing up, and I'm letting Dan know about this too, who's the attorney here. These are federal monies and state monies. I don't believe that he can hang on to these kind of monies. They'll come back to my budget. We've been down this road before. It's never been done like this in the past. And you know it, Commissioner Moore.
No, I don't know what you're talking about right now, so go ahead, Casey.
So I don't know that we're necessarily hanging on to money, Sheriff. So any revenue that's received from the general fund, when you and your team pays that in, all that revenue goes to the general fund. The general fund has a cash fund. It's not.
Yeah, but there's federal grants like DARE, IDEP, STEP. Those are not general fund monies.
Okay, so I've been working with Sandy. We've been talking about putting together those appropriations for the remainder of the year. All those appropriations, because I had her take a look at the general fund as well as the jail, and if there's other special revenue funds, we can look at those as well. But what additional appropriations, those budget increases, what those look like for all
They're
those
not
different
really
funds?
budget increases. They're paybacks is what they are. When you call it a budget increase, I don't. It's returning money to my budget. We got 6 SROs, we got a guy at Children's Services, we got 2 guys at Job and Family Services. Those are federal monies I know of.
So as far as that money though,
I pay it out of my general fund and pay them. Then when the money comes back from them, it's supposed to go back into my general fund. That's how I keep my officers on the road.
Sure.
Now, unless you guys want to cut the road patrols, is that what you're looking at? Because this has never, ever been done this way in the past. You brought it up, and I remember
Oh, yeah.
January 25th
Yeah.
meeting, you brought it up. And made a big deal about taking those 4 appropriations that were coming back to me. He has always paid that money back. He's never had a problem with it. All of a sudden, this year, it's a problem. And then,
No, that's
I got
good.
all the emails, Casey, and you
Yeah.
know that.
Mhm.
I asked my secretary, how about getting a hold of Casey after 3 months? She did.
Yeah,
Then it was 6 months. And you kept saying, well, hang in there, we'll see what we can do. Now it's 8 months, and nothing's been returned yet.
So, and I don't want to speak I can't speak for the commissioners, obviously, because it's not my decision, but there has not been any discussions about not appropriating those funds. What I've been working with Sandy is we wanted to get away from those operational, those very transactional appropriations.
I get it as long as it comes back in the end.
Sure. And so
Not
that's-
wait until November and then say, here it is, and then you close the budgets out.
Sure, and again, that's what Sandy and myself have been working on, was figuring out what that number is so we can do what my intentions would be to present in front of the commissioners, one appropriation, a one-time appropriation that covers all those expenditures that you're referring to, as opposed to, you know, 2 or 3 appropriations every board meeting.
I get
one
that, but I haven't
appropriation.
seen
So-
nothing come back yet after 8 months. That's what I'm saying.
Well, last week, I believe it was, Sandy had put together a spreadsheet that was taking a look at what those additional
I
expenditures.
just sent you another one, which is an estimated one, because the schools start up right now.
Sure.
So now my SROs are back into that school, which is gonna be a pay them out again, and the money's gotta come back, is what I'm trying to tell
Well,
you.
I think what we'd like to see, again, from an operational standpoint, is we know, that's what a budget is. We know it's not going to be exact. We know there could be some variance. But what we'd like to know is like to see is what your best guess is, what your estimate is, what those expenditures are going to be throughout the end of the year.
Yep,
And then
and I
that
gave
way
that
we
to
can
you.
put that appropriation, do a one-time appropriation to cover those.
I
And
get
then,
And what I did next year, everybody's sitting here telling me, nobody ever gave me a phone call asking me why my budget went up or whatever. If you had questions here when I wasn't here, it would have been nice to get a phone call to me, because I could have explained it to you.
Yeah, well,
But now, just like what he said,
Yeah.
now I had to put these monies, since you never returned them back to me, into my next general fund budget.
well,
So that
according to
way
what
I know I'm gonna get them back.
from what I heard, it sounds like, and I'm talking to Casey about this. You're just waiting, are you getting the numbers so we can just issue the whole appropriation? That's my understanding, correct? Instead of going 3 or 4 a meeting to do it for the
Correct.
whole year.
The spreadsheet that I received, I believe it was last week, that was appropriations, I guess, year to date.
Okay.
So,
No, that was appropriations as of July 13th.
okay, as of July 13th.
Correct.
So what I went back, what I would like to see is what
That-
those appropriations from
That's what
July
I
to
gave you
December,
today.
those estimates.
That's what I
Okay.
gave you today.
Okay.
Okay, so we got that
So
today?
then once we get there, then I can work to put an appropriation in front of the commissioners.
And
for their
commissioners,
approval.
Okay.
I don't want to come up here arguing with you on every little thing that goes
No.
on here, and I don't expect it back. But, yeah, do I get a hold of the media after you guys fire off questions from here? I do, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stick up for my office and my department. Give me my budget, leave me alone, and I'll leave you guys alone. And that's all I ask. Don't play no games with me.
Okay.
I don't overspend my budgets. I never have in 23 years. And the jail is another animal. Why do you think nobody runs a jail? Why do you think no city runs them? Because they're very expensive. You can never plan. We send somebody to the hospital probably almost every day anymore. And, you know, the fentanyl is so bad, these people sneak it in. You name it where they put it, and that's where they put it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't search everybody. You can't search anybody anymore because of the state legislature changed the rules. The Supreme Court said you can do it, but the state says, no, you can't. But that's where the costs are in the jail. And, but if you want me to come back in November, I can explain why that went up. I can nix about $6 million off of that right now, today.
No, we're going to look forward to November.
Yeah, I am too.
Did you get an email from the prosecutor's office? I'm glad you're here. 'Cause I can either respond, I'd rather respond to you in an email in regards to the request from the Elyria and Lorain in regards to the grade key and Celebrite. Did you see that email yet? I don't want to put you on the spot. That's
No,
all.
I did not see that one,
Okay,
Commissioner.
what I'll do is-
I heard about it. I believe the prosecutor was looking to get
Well,
some of them, that
Well, it's
stuff.
for the city of Elyria. I'd rather not talk about it. I'd rather send you an email
Okay,
and let's
okay.
let's have that conversation, okay?
Yeah, I didn't get any emails, but I know what
No,
you're
I just
talking about.
I just got it and I'm like looking at it going, okay, I'd rather wait and talk
Okay.
to you about it.
Okay.
Okay, well, thanks.
Okay, I appreciate it. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
I got more copies if you want them. I can give you.
I'd rather have one if you got more copies.
Sure, I do.
So, thank you, Sheriff. I'll get them to KC's and get them to us. It's up to you.
Mr. President,
Yeah.
so, and
You want 'em,
just so
please,
you
or-
know, Sheriff, when the public hears, they hear these acronyms up here. I think we've talked about acronyms before with JFS. The SROs are the school resource officers, and we as commissioners, I know, speaking for myself, I don't take that lightly. I know this is a very important time. Parents are worried, families are worried. They want to make sure that their tax dollars that are being spent, that are sent in from the schools to fund these officers, are being paid. So we take your request very, very seriously in these programs that you have on here for the DARE and the OVI Task Force and all the community partners. So I just wanted to let you know that I support you in that and making sure that these monies are returned properly into your funds.
Okay.
Thank you,
And I'm
Mr.
not asking
President.
for any more. I'm not going to say, give me some extra money. Just what. just what
Sheriff,
we
I've
paid.
known you for 23 years, and I consider you a friend still, okay? I'm sorry we've had this disagreement, and I hope you,
I get
hope we can-
politics, believe me.
I know. I hope we can work this out. I think we will. So,
Sheriff?
I'm not the sheriff.
Well, no. Mr. President, may I?
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't want his job.
And I want to echo that sentiment,
Yeah.
but asked it in a two-way street. When there's a $9 million increase in the budget, I know myself, I would like somebody to deliver that and say, by the way, this is going to shock the hell out of you, and I need to explain it. But from what I saw as a new guy, we got the budget by the deadline, and then in order to get, if we needed a levy, we needed to have, that's another deadline. We didn't have a lot of time, but I would hope, for my benefit, I'd like to see us commence and have your people and our people and start talking about the budget and not wait until November, because it looks like a pretty complex issue
Yeah,
to me.
and I understand that, Commissioner. That's why in my letter, I think I tried to explain it a little bit more because,
Yeah,
and I'm not faulting the assistant administrator or the administrator, but every time I ask for something like a rooftop or a generator thing, I always get asked, and not picking on you guys, but is it in your budget, Sheriff? I've never put that stuff in my budget. This time I did. So, but it can come back out because that was always capital expenditure money that bought that stuff. That was my reasoning, but
whatever it takes.
I'll try to
run your-
communicate a little bit better.
Whatever it takes to run your world, we need to know that number, because we can't spend the same dollar twice.
I understand.
And when you come in, and maybe that's part of, maybe that's part of the chaos that I concern when I ask questions, but the reality is that, for instance, this year you've had $500,000 worth of appropriations. Well, fortunately, we had the money to do that, but as we get closer to living without ARPA, and we get closer to spending full, to get those during the year means we may have to pull money back from another department, and that's always just.
Yeah, and I don't want that. And we're 24/7, 365
We
days
get
a
it.
week.
We get
And I have 4 unions out there who negotiate contracts, and you guys have to approve them, so there's a cost to that. And you bought the longevity out this time. That was a pretty expensive endeavor, but you did get their base pay up, which is a good thing because it attracts more officers.
Right.
Yes.
So that was a good thing in my
But I do have one question, because somebody mentioned the SROs in the public comment while you were not here. If you have that salary in your budget, and we allocate that, and we forward you that money, okay, out of the general fund, the schools get their tax money like every 6 months. So if they then reimburse the county, did I just hear you say that you want the county to pay for those guys, and then you also want the money from the schools on top of that?
No, I get my budget, like you said, but I'm pulling guys, you gotta remember, I gotta pull somebody off the road to put them into the school. So now what am I gonna do, short the road? So no, I backfill it with that money for my road guy. That gives me enough deputies to be out into the townships to do everything. So that's how that works. Otherwise, you keep losing. I could put 20 guys in schools and have 20 less road deputies. That does nobody no good.
Yeah, I think I think that's one of those things that we have to work out so that people understand that.
Yep,
And
but that's the way it
they
works.
understand the total cost of what we're doing, because the schools think that they're paying for the SROs, but they reimburse the county, but we're fronting you the money because you gotta pay them this week, you can't wait for 6 months to pay it.
Right, and a lot of these are, not that job, but a lot of these jobs like this NBI and these other ones, they're time and a half. So you're paying out time and a half.
Right.
Now, you do get it back, but that's the money that I feel has got to come back to my budget. Otherwise, at the end of the year, I'm going to be short.
That's why we'd like to have a comprehensive budget that allows for that. You don't,
I understand. I got no problem with
I need to get your
that.
language. I need to get your language, and I'll get there, but,
Okay,
okay?
okay, Commissioners, thank you.
I have one more thing, but Mr. President, was
Yeah,
it your
go.
turn?
No,
or
no,
my
no,
turn?
go ahead.
Okay. So Casey and I were talking a little bit today. I'm not going to put you on the spot, Casey, because we have to sit down and have a little more in-depth conversation. But the folks out there in the public need to remember when we're talking about the tax budget, Casey, this is your term. It tends to be a wish list that is always elevated, and then we have the budget meetings, and then those numbers come down. And I'm kind of going off the top of my head. You were going to check for me, and we didn't have enough time before the meeting. I think 22, when we passed that tax budget in July of 22 for 23, we were talking about $90,000 that we then ended up getting down to 74. I hate to put you on the spot with this, but people need to understand that tax budget is usually an elevated number. And then we come in, we have our budget meetings, and we're looking at every department and every elected, and then those numbers come down to a lower number. We're not going to say it's a reasonable number, but it's a lower number. So we're still early in the process.
Yep,
We'll
it's a
be,
working document. like
Yes, we'll be-
Commissioner Roy says.
just so the public
And
understands
believe me, we're not
that.
asking for more money so we can feed them caviar and steak out there.
Oh,
That's
no.
not- That's not
Right.
the point. But,
So-
Did you get it that quickly, Casey, or are we gonna, I might have
No, I
called him,
think-
did I call him JR?
Yeah.
I did, Casey.
That's okay. He looks just like him.
No, we'll have it for, we can have it for the next
Okay,
meeting.
Commissioners, thank
Are
you.
we, are we? Okay. No, go, no,
No, it's
no.
your turn, boss.
No, I'm closing. I'm getting, go ahead.
I have one question then, as we go forward. We are gonna ask Sheriff that we're gonna get through the weeds in, between staff meetings and stuff between now and November. But I think, as we all know, a new jail is looming, and I think a critical piece to getting the taxpayers comfortable with that is having some open discussions in a meeting like this where people can see, why we need to replace instead of renovate, and let them feel comfortable that you and the commissioners have done their job in assessing the situation.
I understand. That's why I brought Captain Hammond. Guy's been here 44 years. He started out as a maintenance man in that jail. Believe me, he knows it from the top to the bottom. Been there a long time, so. Okay, Commissioners,
Well,
thank you.
Thank you for coming in. We needed, no, really, Sheriff, we needed this kumbaya moment, so
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
I do appreciate it. County Administrator update?
Certainly. We had an update from MCM, the wireless communication, today. There will be a pre-bid meeting on this coming Monday, August 14th, out at 911, where the bidders will be there to tour the county both the 14th and 15th. We're aware that Johnson Communications and Motorola, as well as Harris, are very much interested, and there's other companies that are intermixed with those three big ones. But if you recognize that the bonds that are going to have to be put forth are going to come from the manufacturer and not necessarily the local guy. So we want to make sure that it's done right. And then the sealed bids are due October 20th, Friday, October 20th of this year. And those bids, there's all kinds of rules and regulations, cashier's check, there's the bond certified check, and that you're going to have to be, and all the bidders will know the legal notices that was in the newspaper as to how to respond with the sealed bid, which is due, again, October 20th on Friday at 2 p.m. Yeah,
Any
it is at
questions?
2 p.m., I'm
Do we have
sorry,
any
prior
questions?
to 2 p.m.
I got some questions.
Mr. President,
Yeah.
so you said it's a 2-day tour. Could you just give the public a little bit of an idea of what the 2-day tour entails?
We're going to meet at 911 with all the individuals that, from the three companies and their staff, as well as MCM, and Dan Gross and Jeff Young will be traveling from. They want to look at the hospitals, they want to be in the schools in the area, the major buildings, Dan Gross has a list of the buildings that MCM is considered ones that they need to walk through. And this not only would include the cities, but it would also include the hitherlands that are out there, like Green Circle Growers, which we know that there's some issues with. We know that there's issues out in Wellington. And they'll be looking at their thought process is not the thought process. They'll be having the antennas, the towers, talking about that. They'll be looking at towers, so they'll be in all the communities. We will be in touch with all the schools, superintendents that we're going to actually go in. We probably are not going to be in all school buildings because you can't possibly do that in 2 days. Then you've got a period of time from here till October 20th that if they need to get into other buildings, we will make sure that they're into those buildings on that process so that the seal bids coming in, all the questions will be answered all at once, not individually. All the questions will come in, all the bidders will know what the questions are, and then those questions will be answered in writing back to the bidders so that everybody has the same answer. The communication that is going to happen on the 14th and 15th will be we're going to not give any answers to any of the questions. Karen and I will not be on the visit, just Dan Gross and Jeff Young. Jeff obviously was the 911 director, and Dan is a facilities guy and has been involved in this long before I became the administrator, and of course Karen is. And so we look forward to having a good 2 days. We look forward for the next several months until October 20th at 2 o'clock to get some very good bids back to the county.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
What else? I know you
We
had a
have
list.
the wage compensation plan. Clemens Nelson has actually finalized it, or not finalized it, has given it back to us in a draft. And the administration will be reviewing this and taking a look at it and making sure that it's correct over the next 2 weeks. And we look forward to possibly bringing this to it doesn't come to the county commissioners, but I mean, you'll have the copies of them as we complete the draft and get it in finalized stage. And finally, the land bank is meeting August 17th, which I'm supposed to be at the county commissioners meeting. I'm going there at that evening, but we're going to be asking the land bank to help us take down the gas building. I call it the gas building at 216 West 3rd or 3rd Street, which is right around the corner.
Really?
To take it out.
Okay,
And
good.
also stepping stone that has been out there at Murray Ridge for the last 50 years. It's got trees growing through the windows and all of that, and water in the basement, that we need to get rid of that eyesore, and asking the land bank to help us
Okay.
remove that eyesore.
That's the property in front of the jail, in
That
case
is
anybody
the
knows.
property in front of the
As
jail.
they're all nodding their heads like, I think it's been empty since Hammond started, right?
It is absolutely atrocious, and I had no idea when Karen took me out to the sheriff's office or to the jail that, I said, what is that building? I can't believe that we've even left it there. So it really needs to be. And the gas building itself has all kinds of issues with it, and it needs to come down.
I remember
completes.
back when I was fighting with the county at that time, and 20-some years ago, in regards to the cost of the Justice Center, that's what we discussed, and we actually got that remodeled and reused and repurposed for under $50 a square foot, which was, I was trying to say, you can do work here affordable. And it was used for community development, but unfortunately now it's not ADA compliant. I think what the HVAC systems, I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, if we could do something with that building, we tried, and we looked around just so the public knows. On the outside, it looks like a nice building, but it is not ADA compliant. You really can't use it as a government building, and Elyria needs more parking downtown, so.
And the rest of the report I'm going to give to Karen.
Okay, sorry.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
Just a couple items this morning, this evening. I'm so used to having morning meetings.
Keep going, it might be morning.
You never know. Thanks, Mr. President. So, I'm sure you've probably seen some emails from some employees and maybe Barb Tamas over at Job and Family Services, where we've had some water get into the backside of that building. I'm sure you also know that we've had water in the building on numerous occasions over the years, and we've finally started our construction project to fix that problem. But we've had some pretty torrential rains here lately, and so we have gotten water back into the building. Their facilities folks, our facilities folks have worked together to try to extract all the water, treat it for any kind of mold or mildew. And I still think that we need to take it one step further, and that is to get an environmental consultant out to the building, take some samples, take some air samples, send them up to the lab and get a good report so that we can make sure that our employees are safe while they're in the building doing their jobs for Lorain County. Hopefully, I know the environmental consultant will be out tomorrow, I think at 10 o'clock. So we should have something back within a week at the latest. Also, we've got some good news. I received notification that the state of Ohio has awarded $13 million from Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. And that basically allows us, Lorain County, to apply for $250,000 per building for energy conservation measures, such as LED lighting, cooling tower, repairs, replacement, rooftop unit, those kinds of things.
Water in the building?
Water in the building does
No,
not
okay,
qualify.
I thought I'd ask.
But you have to remember, we're under construction out there.
Okay.
So at the end of the construction project, that pipe will be large enough to take on the additional water that we seem to be getting from our property owner to the south of us.
Okay.
There will be some additional preventative maintenance we'll have to do as far as keeping catch basins clean and debris from gathering in the back of the building.
How many buildings have you identified for the 250?
Oh, at this point, probably about 15.
15 buildings?
Yes, sir.
What about windows?
This is done as best as I can explain it. They rank your project based on where you're going to get the most value. So LED lighting is the easiest, quickest thing that we can do. Windows would probably fall at the bottom, closer to the bottom of the list.
You mentioned a building that
Right.
may need them earlier.
Exactly,
That's why I'm
yeah.
asking you the question.
Good question, though. So, and that concludes my report for today.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yep.
question, Karen, where's the water coming from at JFS?
It's rain. So the rainwater is gathering behind the building.
I figured it was rain.
Well, you asked where it's coming from.
I'm assuming somebody didn't run a hose from the fire hydrant.
No, sir.
But I mean, is it the roof leaking? Is it water coming through the bottom of the wall from, you mentioned neighboring property?
Right, yes. So we're probably about 10 feet lower than the property to the south of us. And there's an embankment there, and the water just rolls down that embankment right into the back of our building, and it's seeping through the bottom of the building into the building. So it's not coming from above, and the water is basically in the carpet. So that's when I say they're extracting it, they're taking the water out of the carpet. We're trying to use a microbial cleaner to keep the mold from growing and those kinds of things. And it's all along the south wall of the building,
Okay.
from
so-
workforce development all the way to
so
the
you-
Elyria Avenue side.
Who's doing all the paperwork?
I'm
You are?
sorry?
Who's doing all the paperwork?
Four.
Because you're looking at $3.7 million, so,
I've got a meeting set up for tomorrow or Thursday.
Okay.
To kind of iron out all the details on
okay.
that.
Well, that's good news.
Mr. President, and to what you spoke about, the problems over at JFS with the water, as the commissioners, I know I speak for myself, we care about what's going on over there, and we understand that Director Longo and Director Tamas are having to move people around and kind of get them out of the way and keep them out of those areas. So I appreciate all that they're doing to protect our employees over there and using the space wisely to get them located safely.
That's correct, Commissioner. Administrator Armbruster and I spent about 3 hours over there on Friday, walking the site, trying to see if, what else we could do to help. But you're right, Director Tamas and also Director Longo have taken the employees from the areas that are getting wet after the rainstorms and kind of moved them into the interior part of the building.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I was under the impression that property owners were required to retain their water on their site.
Let's have that debate for another day.
Right. I think we've talked about this numerous times over the years. I've talked to the Elyria Township trustees. I've talked to the county engineer. And this is not a new problem. This is an ongoing problem. And what we're doing now out there at the site is trying to fix it so that our building can remain dry and we can provide a better environment for our staff. To continue to try to find out why our neighbor maybe isn't as proactive as he should be with his stormwater. I've just met with dead ends every time I've tried to contact them. And I've gotten no help from either the engineer's office or Elyria Township.
If I don't mean to put you on the spot,
But
but we do. When did our project start? You were talking about the bigger pipe. When did we start this? I know it's been an ongoing problem.
I want to say it was probably in May of this year.
Okay.
Now, the design of this actually started probably about 5 years ago, if not
Yeah.
longer. So we hired KS and Associates to look at doing a retention basin and trying to contain our stormwater. So it's been an ongoing problem and a project that we've been trying to get funding for, quite honestly. So we did have the opportunity with the ARPA funds. It freed up some additional funds in your budget that we were able to use the capital investment and take care of the building.
And so you're expecting a successful completion thereabouts when?
I
on the
would
project?
say before the end of November. So they are back on site right now.
Well, and thank you for keeping us updated, and thank you to the employees for their patience in the matter.
Absolutely. Right?
I have nothing. Board correspondence.
Move to waive the reading of the board correspondence.
Second.
I know.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Commissioner Dow.
All right.
New business?
Yes, I'll move to go into executive session to discuss legal and
Pending-
potential.
pending and potential litigation.
Yeah, there we go, thank you. No, let me just try that again. How's that? I move to go into executive session
to discuss-
to discuss pending legal
Pending litigation. and
litigation
potential
and potential litigation. Thank you. If you're going to try to write that out,
I already have it.
She's already got it written out,
Okay.
it's fine, yeah.
that's my motion. I'm waiting for a second.
Second.
Okay.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Dow.
All right.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Thank you. And if you want, I can give you the email to send that to the gal. And Victor, you can sign off right now.
It's
Teresa's show.
Commissioners have reconvened from executive session.
Thank you. It's 7 o'clock. We have just came back from executive session, and I move to adjourn.
Second?
Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell,
Aye.
we're adjourned.
We're adjourned. Thank you.